Good goes everybody, because they will continue to play Little Red Mushroom Head. Where were we? Her words trail off, gaze now fixated on the crow. Though her body aches and her breath wavers, she eventually stands up. In response, the crow spreads its wings and flies away. Its silhouette is difficult to pick out, but the glow of its eyes are enough for Penelope to follow. Wait, don't leave me behind. Her legs wobble beneath her, but she doesn't allow herself to topple over. Since my mother is dead, and I guess the promise is also dead to not follow the crow. Just as she did before, she runs, having no intent of looking back. Like a star in the night. The crow lights up her path. She pushes her way through trees and foliage, trampling through flowers and ignoring the cries of any other animals. I don't really care if I stepped on a rabbit crying. Follow, you'll be okay. Yeah, the journey feels endless, but before she knows it, the crow swoops down and lands on the dead grass. Penelope slows until stopping entirely, completely out of breath. We're here. Yeah, nice house. Before Penelope's eyes stands a house she's never seen. She instinctively takes a step back as she feels her heart pounding in her head. Horrified, she holds her breath. What is this place? It's a house. A very spooky house. The walls of the home are covered up, top to bottom, in pulsating red mass. It glistens in the downpour, helping it stand out against the sea of desolate trees. Penelope swallows thickly, resisting the urge to puke from the pungent stench of rot. She looks to the crow as if it could give her any answers. It seems unfazed by the overwhelming display. Has this house always existed? I've heard stories of edible houses before, but I didn't think it'd be. That's the Hansel and Gretel reference. Hey, don't leave me. I don't want to get any closer. The crashing thunder makes Penelope crouch, covering her ears. Tears burn her eyes, and the terror in her heart is enough to kill her where she stands. Okay, fine, I'll go. Just make the storm stop. She follows the crow to the front door, squinting her eyes in pain. It's so gross. Does someone actually live here? There's no way, right? Well, there's a light, so yeah. She holds her hand out, hoping to put off touching the house for as long as she can. She may have seen her fair share of dead animals, but feeling their entrails is an entirely different story. In the midst of all of her fear and confusion, she attempts to rationalize the situation in her head, in her mushroom head. She can't help but wonder if there is even a difference between best or worst case scenario right now. Oh, my throat, what the hell? Damn, what the hell? Please do it. This is your only option now. Bracing herself for whatever comes next, Penelope opens the door. And the interior is identical to the outside. Crimson viscera decorates the walls, and there's next to no discernible furniture to speak of. Wow, that's a lot of whatever guts that is. It's dark and damp, but surprisingly warm compared to the storm outside. She takes a step inside, the crow following behind her. The whirling wind shuts the door forcefully. Hello, is anybody here? Her voice shakes with every word. She doesn't budge from her spot as she awaits a reply. God damn, let me just drink. God, what the hell is wrong with my throat, man? I got lost. I need a place to stay. So if anyone is here, please come out. Every second that passes in silence feels agonizing. The only sounds that can be heard are the pouring rain and occasional drip of fluid from the swelling walls. What am I doing? I'm asking for trouble. A place like this isn't livable at all, not for a human. Good thing I'm a mushroom head. What was that? The sound of a door opening echoes from up the stairs, soon followed by footsteps. Penelope holds her breath, hand hovering over her heart, without realizing it. Oh me, oh my, I have not heard a voice like that before. A visitor, could it be? Oh dear, oh goodness. If only I knew this were to happen beforehand, I would have picked up around the house a little. Please wait a moment, I'll be down soon. The voice is light and airy, though unidentifiable, as either male or female. Penelope stands still, eyes darting around the home anxiously. The wait must have been only a few minutes, but time has slowed to an unbearable crawl. It felt like forever. We were wandering around, felt like forever, and now we're waiting around and felt like forever. Anything else we could add? Finally, a freakishly tall yet slim figure emerges from the top of the stairs. Sup, man? I apologize for the wait. I had to take a moment to clean the bedroom just in case. The being's appearance is uncanny, an amalgamation of human and not. Though her skin is pale, almost sickly, her head and arms are littered with blood-red stitches, connecting them with fox flesh, fake flesh. She gingerly walks down the stairs, putting great thought into every step she takes. The movements seem unnatural, trained in a way, but she does it all with a smile. She faces Penelope, mismatched eyes unopened, yet still taking note of the child's appearance. She pauses just before the final step, expression shifting for just a moment before returning to a welcoming smile. I see you have brought a friend, little one. Could you remind me what their name is? Before Penelope has the opportunity to register the question, the woman suddenly turns her attention to the crow. She casts her head down towards it, still standing straight. Penelope's mouth opens, but not a sound escapes her. She watches the display in bewilderment. Penelope. Her name is Penelope. And don't call me little one. You know real well how I feel about that sort of label. Penelope stares down at the crow with wide eyes, her brain lagging severely. Her legs quake beneath her as she steps back. You. The echoes of the voice ring in her head. It's deep and masculine, identical to the one that carried her through the forest. But how is it coming from a crow? Why? Those luminous eyes peer into Penelope. She yelps involuntarily, goddamn, and cowers. The woman covers her mouth as she giggles. She mumbles something to herself, but is completely incoherent. And of course, Penelope, how could I forget? Did Crow not introduce himself to you before? I was under the impression you two had some sort of... Her words trail off. She shakes her head and moves on. She clamps her hands together, a large grin dawning her face. Well, I suppose it only makes sense that we all become acquainted with each other, yes? Allow me to introduce myself. My name is Amanita. I have lived in this house for a while now. May you make yourself comfortable here. As for this old soul, you may simply call him Crow. Nice to finally meet you for real, Penelope. It's so funny. Calling himself Crow. It's like if you're a person and they call you... Hey, you can call me human. Nice to finally meet you for real, Penelope. For real? A myriad of thoughts and questions overflow in Penelope's head, but those words stick out among the rest. Unfortunately, she doesn't have time to linger on anything for long, as the being named Amanita speaks up again. It has been quite some time since a human has visited this place. I imagine it will not be ideal for you, but it will keep you out of the rain. Right. Penelope wraps her arms around herself, flicking her thumbs against the fabric of her sleeves. Her eyes dart all over the place, yet fail to focus on anything around her. Amanita hums, the curl of her lips faltering slightly. You appear quite handsy, Penelope. I must admit, I feel a similar way. Well, who wouldn't? You got a talking crow and a whatever thing that is you are. Would you care for a cup of tea to help calm your nerves? Is the cup of tea made out of human flesh? Because if yes, no thanks. Tea? Penelope perks up ever so slightly at the mention of a drink. A warning bell goes off in her head, which is said to offer their targets food and drink, to lull them into a false sense of security before consuming them whole. Yeah, you really read a lot of Hansel and Gretel there. But the girl is too far hydrated and ridden with despair to truly care. Tea sounds nice, thank you, miss. She stumbles over her own words, her voice quiet and shaken, but Amanita pays it no mind. Then I will have it ready in a moment. I have a couch you may sit on, so please make yourself comfortable until I return. I'm sure Crow will keep you company. Amanita bids a quick goodbye before heading towards what's assumed to be the kitchen. Penelope stands still, stunned in place, before the crow speaks up. Well, what do you say? Your feet must be sore from all that ground you've covered today. Not that you can get comfortable in a place like this, but you can at least rest for a minute. You talk. Sure do. But that's impossible. This is all impossible. Mother dying, animals stuck in houses made of blood, witches, none of it is actually real. You can deny it as much as you want, but it's too late to run away now. Come on, kid, you'll get dizzy if you keep standing. I don't wanna. Penelope cuts herself off as she feels tears brew in her eyes again. She blinks them away and wipes her face for a good measure. Fine. She sniffles, taking heavy footsteps to the living room. She analyzes the amount of viscera sitting in the room. It hardly resembles any piece of furniture she's familiar with, but it's the closest thing to a couch in this room. She looks down at it, her bottom lip quivering and stomach churning in revulsion. Her body sinks into the cushion, a squelching sound rings in her ears. She brings her legs up to her chest and hugs her knees tightly. It's so gross, I shouldn't be here. The girl hops up onto the couch beside Penelope. She looks down at him through bleary eyes. Mother was right, crows lead you straight to death. I'm such a fool. I'd rather be eaten by a wolf than this, but the storm, I can't stand the storm. I'll suffer no matter what I do, huh? At least here I'll get some tea. I guess I can look forward to that. Do you think Amanita's gonna hurt you? Penelope laughs pitifully. What a silly question, she thinks, but perhaps it makes sense for a beacon of bad luck to side with a witch. She's going to eat me, right? I've heard the stories. There's a witch in the forest who lives in an edible house. She'll feed you and take care of you, only to swallow you whole. Mother told it to me again and again. Even the people in town would ask me about it. I didn't think it could actually be true. Let me go back there. You know, an assumption like that is, are you still here, Penelope? Oh, thank goodness. I have just finished some tea. Here's your cup. Be careful, it is rather hot. Penelope mumbles a quiet thank you as Amanita hands her a small teacup. A faint aroma hits Penelope's nose, but it's hard to distinguish from the intense scent of the house. The cup itself is pure white, chipped in a few places and stained from overflowing liquid, but still pleasing to the eyes. As Penelope admires the sight, Amanita sits down as well, sipping on her own drink. So, Penelope, where might you come from? This part of the forest is especially separate from society. It would take hours for someone to discover this place. Huh? Penelope brings her attention to Amanita, blinking rapidly. She frowns, lamenting on what to say. I've lived here since I was born. And I ran away, got lost, that's all. Penelope's eyes shift away from Amanita, focusing on the crow instead. He glowers. Questioning her without words, she shivers slightly and stutters. Really? That's all? I don't have anybody waiting for me at home, so I'm going to go to town when this is over. They can help me. I think so, at least. I see. Amanita comments in a dejected tone as her lips curl downward. Well, it is quite fortunate you are able to find a community who may support you, but I am here as well to help. Until then, you see? This all might be a mess, but it really is not that bad once you get used to it. I myself have grown quite fond of it. The witch smiles again. The shift is so quick, it's as if she never frowned in the first place. A string of anxiety weaves into a ball in Penelope's throat. Thank you. Miss, can I ask you something as well? Of course, please, go ahead. I will happily lend a listening ear. Penelope swallows thickly, hoping to rid herself of her fears. Her voice quivers with and cracks with every word like she's on the verge of tears again. If you're going to eat me, can you go ahead and do it already? Excuse me? For the first time since coming here, Amanita's voice raises, not loud enough to make Penelope jump, but still enough to make her shrink. Eat you? Oh, dear child, do you truly believe that? I suppose my face is not a pretty sight, but... something so gruesome such as that? Why, I could never dream of it. I have no need to eat in the first place. The woman lets out a fraught laughter, her stilted smile never faltering, overjoyed as she might seem, if not for the quake in her voice. It is mere paranoia, yes? A simple paranoia. You must be startled. This situation would be troubling for anyone, so I cannot blame you if you find yourself cowering in fear. And that is why I shall help you at any given moment. Perhaps you could start by having you drink your tea. Surely it must be cool by now. Her words come out hastily, never allowing herself a chance to breathe until she stops speaking entirely. Silence deafens the rooms. I'm back to forget stretch voice. The only sound is the heavy, warm breath of the witch and the chattering of Penelope's teeth. Her hands, once holding her teacup so careful as to not burn or cut her fingers, tremble. The obsidian liquid sputters and leaks out of the cracks and edges. Having a drink doesn't seem so appealing anymore. With a dry throat, however, Penelope struggles to speak. Amanita, how about you give Penelope a moment to breathe? It's rather late for a kid her age. I'm sure some time alone and proper rest would do her well. But she is scared, is she not? How could one sleep in such a state like this? Tea is the perfect remedy to all one's problems. Even just a single sip can lift your burdens off your shoulders. She should at least finish her cup before heading to... No, it's okay. I don't need it. I can sleep. Oh. I'm exhausted, and I can fall asleep anywhere, so it's okay, really. Could you tell me where to go, miss? Amanita pauses, giving Penelope words an opportunity to settle in. She inhales and sets her cup down before standing up. The bedroom is just up the stairs. Would you like me to lead the way? Okay. Penelope nearly stumbles, getting off the couch. More tea spills out of the cup, only to instantly be absorbed into the mushy floor. She notices, but doesn't bring attention to it. I'll come as well. The crow zips up the stairs, leaving the two behind. Well, let us not leave him behind for much longer. With her head hung low, Penelope follows behind Amanita. Are you going to have enough to drink, Penelope? I noticed some tea spilled out of your cup. I can make you a new one if you'd like. No, what a shame. Amanita opens the door and steps inside, turning around to face Penelope and welcome her in. The crow, already perched on the windowsill, watches them from afar. Penelope stands in the doorway, taking in the room as much as she can. It's near identical to the rest of the home, lacking any notable furniture other than nondescript lards of viscera. While it should be expected, Penelope still finds herself feeling queasy. Here it is. I know it's not much, but please make yourself comfortable. You can place your cup here, hang your hat there, and sleep cozily here. Amanita directs Penelope toward the corner of the room. The more she analyzes it, the less she can make sense of what's in front of her. She cannot resist scrunching up her nose at the thought of sleeping there. That's the bed. Indeed, is it going to be a problem? Penelope hesitates. How can she say this is fine? Just sitting on the couch was mortifying enough. There's no way she can handle this. It's okay, thank you. She looks at the crow, but as always, she says nothing. How annoying, she thinks, but doesn't dare say a peep. Not right now. Amanita's head is turned down to face the child. Seemingly delighted by Penelope's approval, her voice, as sickeningly sweet as it might be, still feels deceptive. I am happy to hear that. Please do make yourself at home. If you need anything from me, do not hesitate to call my name. For now, if you do not have any more questions for me, I suppose I will be on my way to let you rest. Penelope falls silent. Of course she has questions. There isn't a single thing tonight that she has any answers for. However, she hasn't the slightest feeling she can trust Amanita. That patient smile, the more Penelope looks at it, the deeper her skin starts to crawl. She turns her head away, but nothing around her is pleasuring to look at either. With nothing else to do, she heads towards the window. I don't need anything, she states bluntly, setting her teacup down carefully on what must be some sort of nightstand. It sits slanted on the lumpy surface, but she cannot be bothered if any more tea spills out. There isn't any point in caring, there isn't any point in asking questions. Maybe they will be answered, but who's to say she'll be satisfied with it? How is anyone expected to accept this as reality? Yeah, what's up with this house, lady? Hire an interior designer, for God's sake. Amanita, hospitable as always, does not allow her expression to falter. She instead bows her head, hands stuck together as if they can never be torn apart. I see. In that case, sleep well, Penelope. May the sun shine down on you tomorrow. If tomorrow ever comes. If you find yourself unable to close your eyes, remember the tea I made for you. It can knock you out in no time. With those parting words, Amanita steps out of the room. She bids the crow good night as well before closing the door. Are those goddamn teeth? These yellow things surrounding this hole? Are those teeth? Now that the witch is gone, Penelope's shoulders drop without her realizing it. She buries her head in her hands, muffling her hoarse whimper. At this point, she's run out of tears to cry. She wants to sleep. She wants to wake up in her own home, her own bed, and get to eat breakfast with her mother again. She wants to cook with her, sew with her, anything and everything, even if she hates it. She slumped onto the bed, legs hanging off the edge. Pulsating flesh and rotten intestines stick to her skin and clothes. The sensation is unbearable. She has never felt so filthy. She wishes her mother could still reprimand her for being so foolish. She wishes to not be alone anymore. She wishes the story will end already. She wishes and wishes and wishes, but the thoughts soon stop. A familiar faint tap jabs her leg, tough enough to hurt, but light enough to not leave a scar. Before she realizes what's happening, she slowly tilts her head to look down at the source. The crow's glossy eyes shine brightly like wishing stars. He pecks her again, never once opening his beak. It seems he had flown over to her side at some point. Penelope frowns. That's right, she isn't alone. The bringer of death itself is here to quell her worries. How wonderful, how annoying. What are you doing? Pecking you awake, that's all. Weren't you the one who said I needed to rest? You don't make any sense. The crow stops, clicking his tongue against the roof of his beak instead. I sure did, but I can't let you wallow and weep all on your own. I know my limits darn well, though. I can't brew you a cup of tea or any fancy stuff like that, but I've got my eyes, ears, and wings. Penelope shifts to properly face the crow, scooting completely onto the bed and keeping her knees close to her chest. Why does that matter? Where are you going with this? I mean, I'll keep you alive. If you're worried about a big bad wolf or evil witch eating you in your sleep, then I'll watch over you and make sure that doesn't happen. And when the storm's said and done, I'll help you get on the track to town. I know this forest better than the back of my hand, after all. Penelope, you don't have hands, you have wings. Penelope narrows her eyes. Whether it be a glare or exhaustion kicking in is unknown to her. The vow might sound nice on paper, but she finds herself unable to trust the crow and his motives. And even then, it doesn't matter if I get eaten or not. I don't need guidance anymore. Why try to help me anyway? Why? I guess that's a fair question. Unfortunately, there's some things I can't exactly answer right now. Tell you what, any questions you've got from me, I'll answer them on the walk to town. I only want one thing in return, and that's... I just want to watch over you until the time comes, that's it. Once you start a new life, I'll bid you goodbye. You can forget about me, this house, Amanita, whatever. Nobody will hold it against you. So, do we have a deal, Penny? Penelope doesn't speak, unable to find words. She blankly stares down at the crow, her eyes drooping occasionally. It's a struggle to think coherently, but when she tries comparing her options, she doesn't see any genuine reason to decline the deal. There is no discernible difference between freedom or death right now, regardless of this outcome. One pain shall disappear in substitute for another. Taking a deep breath, Penelope wipes her tired eyes and focuses her gaze as deeply as she can. Okay, it's a deal. Oh, thank you. I'll keep my word, so just prioritize getting some rest, you hear? Okay. The girl's voice trails off as she feels her body growing weaker and weaker. She does what she can to make herself comfortable, but the efforts turn up futile. Her exhaustion can't care less about comfort. Before she can bid the crow good night, she drifts off. Once she's fallen unconscious, the crow returns to the windowsill. With unblinking eyes, he peers over her for as long as he is granted. Some things just never change, do they? What the hell are you talking about? Why do you talk like you've known Penelope for all this time? Are you the father? Penny, what am I going to do with you? Are you the dad? Is he the dad? Come on, kiddo, let's get up and at him. Hold on a second, I'm still getting dressed. Don't leave without me. There's no waiting when it comes to hunting. Don't you know how early the bird gets the worm? It's not hunting, it's bug catching. We aren't killing anything. Waha, I hear you. Get your butt out here already. The one speaking is Grandpa. What kind of credit are you looking for today? I want a caterpillar. Mother bought me that book from town, remember? About a caterpillar's life cycle. I want to see if it's telling the truth. It says they're found near trees and plants, and they can't move very fast, so they should be easy to catch. And when you find it, what are you gonna do? Sit out and watch it till it's all grown up? Why do you think I asked you to bring that jar? I'm gonna keep it. I'll hide it in my room and bring it flowers to eat. Then I can watch it grow up into a butterfly. Okay. So it's possible that the grandpa is the crow, because grandpa's dead, I'm assuming, and the butterfly that Penelope captured is Amanita, because, you know, she waited for it to grow up into a butterfly or whatever. But Amanita, since a real life butterfly is already freaky, this is what happens when Amanita is in its quote-unquote human form, or how it perceives a human should look like, maybe, I don't know. Mother says we can't keep any animals, but this is fine, right? She won't know about it anyway. When did you get so rebellious, keeping secrets from your own mother? Seems Grandpa's been a bad influence for you. You know, if she finds out about this, she'll have my head on a pike. She won't do that. If she wanted to, she'd have done it already. Quiet down, Grandpa, you're so loud. It'll scare the bugs away. Waha, you got me there, Penny, but you should know this old man can't be tied down by anything. I'll tell Mother you let me go out alone. I hear you. I'll keep it down just for a little while. Okay. I couldn't catch anything. Haha, fail. Cheer up, kiddo. We can try again tomorrow, can't we? On second thought, maybe not. Gotta have the house ready when your mother returns. But we'll try again another day. Don't be so hard on yourself. But what if the grandpa's the one that actually killed the mother in present time? Grandpa, do you think I could ever become a real huntsman like you? Penny, you know your mother won't let you. Even the mention of it scares her half to death. I know. But if I can't even catch a single caterpillar, can I do anything at all? Oh shit, sorry. I have to end it here because I have to prepare for work now. So this is Little Red Mushroom Head. If you want to try it again for yourself, the links are in the description. That is all for today. Stay safe and take care of yourselves. Whoa, this is really interesting. I love where this is going. But god damn it. Why does Amanita have a house made of flesh? It's so... and expects everyone to be like, yeah, this is fine. This is normal. Oh, this is so funny.